everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. Sorry I've been a little MIA. I know I promised I wouldn't do that anymore, but I did end up having to have surgery, so I'm just like at home recovering, so I have time to film because I'm off work. I want to talk about a couple of palettes that I found at Target by Profusion. I'm talking about the Wanderlust and the Confidence palettes. I did post these on my Instagram. They are absolutely stunning palettes. I think these are great as holiday gifts. They retail for $9.99. And the cool thing about these two is that they actually come with this double-ended brush that is very usable. Let me show you. So you've got one fluffy end right here, and then you've got one kind of like flat end, like a shader brush that you can kind of like pack on color like I did today. These brushes are like freaking awesome. I want Profusion to sell these separately because I want a ton of these. I mean, just such a good quality brush. I mean, just like the perfect amount of like fluff and give. I'm digging this. I'm digging this little brush with this little rose gold little ferrules on it. It's just so pretty and such good quality. I was really shocked because usually, you know, when you get these palettes, you get some little brushes in there, some little sponge tip applicators that we all be tossing in the trash. And then when I used this brush, I was like, that's a really good brush. I want some more. So Profusion, put these separately. Okay, so first off, we're going to be talking about this Wanderlust baby right here. There we go. It's got some really pretty greens, purples, neutrals. It's got a good mix of colors. There we go. So you got a good array of satins, mattes, some shimmers in here. Let me give you guys some swatches of some of these because I was really pretty shook at how good this palette was, because I don't own any Profusion eyeshadows, to be honest, except for these two palettes right here, so I didn't have anything to compare it to. I saw some videos and I was like, wow, those look like really great. And there's actually an all matte palette called like Velvet Mattes, I think it is, that I'm seriously considering going back for because the pigmentation on these is so nice. And then the few times that I have used these palettes, I haven't had any fallout issues or anything like that, which really surprised me. Let me pop these on the back of my hand so you can really see, and then I'll get a wet wipe. But the pigmentation is so good. I mean, look, it's really fantastic, really great, like quality eyeshadows. For those of you out there who are just like, look, I'm not paying $49 for a palette or $65 for a palette at Sephora. These are some really great like drugstore options. I think these are great to give as Christmas gifts. I mean, you can get some really beautiful, colorful looks out of these. Some of these colors in here honestly remind me a little bit of the of that Urban Decay Electric palette, like that really rich purple in there. There's such good shades in here. And you can get I would say you can get a full look out of this palette. I mean, I keep going to the wrong side. That's all right. It's very complete. You've got matte brow bone highlights. You've got a cream brow bone highlight. You've got a shimmer. I mean, just really, let me give you a few more swatches. Really good quality shadows in this sucker. I mean, like, take a look. I mean, this is just fire. Can you just not see that like all blended through your crease, just doing a gorgeous like electric pink look? Great. I mean, Profusion, when did this happen? Like, when did this transformation take place? Like, what is going on? Sometimes you get to be a little bit of a makeup snob and you just assume something for $10, you know, can't be awesome. And then you pick up one of these and you're like, okay, well, wait a minute. This really is a great palette. Let me get my head out of the sand and give some props here. So I gotta say though, that hot pink look, I'm trying to wipe the swatch off and it is still there, faintly there. So super pigmented. I do suggest using a really good primer with these. I have paired them with my Milani eyeshadow primer, which is just my favorite all-time eyeshadow primer, hands down. I use that in conjunction with a little bit of Tarte Shape Tape up underneath my brow bone, but other than that, I mean, hold up, I'm stained pink here. Look at this. It's not coming off. It is not coming off. Okay, that's some major hardcore serious pigment right there. And then we're gonna get into this baby right here, which is the Confidence palette. This is very much my jam, very much my color scheme. You've got I'm still going to the wrong side. Opposite, girl. Okay, so you've got rich oranges, you've got yellows, still got some green, got some warm chocolates. Super duper complete palette. Like gorgeous. The only thing this palette is missing is a black. That is it. Other than that, I feel like this sucker is like spot on, perfect fall, everything palette. I mean, just gorgeous. Let me get you some swatches of this baby. I mean, some of these colors are just knock your socks off. Beautiful. And here too, I've used this gold called Sunny, this one right here, a couple times on my lid and was just like blown away by it. Let me swatch these on the back of my hand so you can get a better look. And I mean, this is literally me just going over once. Look at, I'm not gonna say anything, I'm gonna just let y'all look at it. The pigmentation is fantastic. For $9.99, I'm like, what is going on? Now y'all tell me, does anybody have like any old Profusion palettes that you can compare to this? Because I don't have anything. So from what I know of this brand, I'm just like blown away. Like, do I need to go back and get all the rest of the palettes? Because there was Velvet Mattes, there was a palette filled with metallic shades. And I'm sitting here kind of wondering, girl, did I drop the ball? Like, should I have gotten like everything? Even though I don't need all the colors, I'm still just blown away by the quality and the price point. So I'm kind of like, ooh, do I need to go back and get at least one more? I think that Velvet Mattes is gonna end up living at my house. It's very similar in color scheme to, let me show you something. Like, for example, this one, this MAC Semi Sweet ×9. These are very similar shades to what's in that Profusion Velvet Mattes palette, which is why I think it's calling my name so hard, because I've got some major divots in a lot of these to where I'm gonna be hitting pan pretty shortly. So I was thinking maybe of grabbing that Velvet Mattes kind of as a little way to get some of these shades again in my collection. But let me give you a few more shades in this Confidence palette. Let's get you some more swatches. Let's see here, let's do some of the mattes. Let's do some mattes. This one called Madly is ridiculously gorgeous. It reminds me just a bit of MAC's I'm Into It, but I think it's a little bit less burgundy. Not less burgundy, maybe it's brighter. It's a little bit brighter of a burgundy. We'll say that. These mattes feel very, very creamy to the touch, and what I really love is this shade right here on my pinky called Benefit. It's kind of like a mustardy kind of khaki color, which is very unique. You don't see that a lot in palettes. So to get a shade like that in a palette like this is kind of like, what? Look, see, it's almost my skin tone. It's kind of mustardy, nude-ish type of tone. For me, it would be like a great transition shade. But look, literally one swipe of my finger. You guys, if you haven't tried these, I'm telling you, run. There's also a blush palette that I saw that's kind of calling my name. I'm just gonna have to make another little round to Target, go through that end cap and just make some final decisions and just grab some shit and just take it home. So I can just be over it, because if it all disappears and I go back and it's all gone, I'll be sad. I know how I am. And I'll be like kicking myself going, why? So I'll make a little round over there and see what's left, see what's worth grabbing. But for sure, I definitely recommend the Wanderlust and the Confidence. Like, must-haves, must-haves. If you don't have these shades, you've been looking for these shades, you know, palettes like, for example, you know what, let's compare it to some stuff. Let's do some comparisons right here. Okay, so here we go. Case in point, Naked Heat. So let's take a look at this sucker. Of course, you're gonna get a dual-ended brush in your Naked Heat too. Let me chunk that out just like you do in your Profusion palette. And you know what, quite similar brush. Fluffy side on that one, more tapered side on the other end. Okay, so when you're comparing these two, let me get it here. We've got some similar shades, I would say, but I would still say I honestly probably prefer the Profusion palette over the Naked Heat, just because I feel like this one is giving you a little bit more variety. Now, the Naked Heat palette, great quality palette, beautiful shades. They blend really well, but I've been finding that Urban Decay's eyeshadow formula, especially the matte, seems like a little bit thinner to me, if that makes sense. So very similar. If you're looking to give someone a gift, and you're like, hey, you know what? 54 isn't exactly my jam right now, even though these are, I believe, the Naked Heat palettes on sale at Ulta for like a couple days or something like that. But fantastic palette. But if you're looking for a good gift for someone, a great alternative, I would go with this Confidence palette right here. Great, great, great. And I'm trying to think what else to compare it to. Oh, I know, we'll compare it to something else. We'll compare it to another bargain brand palette. So, where is my aha, here it is, right on top, my Morphe 3502 palette. Flip it open, girl. Okay, so here's the 3502, and let's compare that to this Confidence palette right here. Okay, see, two big suckers, two big mama jammas. You can't fit them in the frame. Turn it, turn it, turn it. But you're gonna see some similar shades. So this 3502, I believe, retails for like $24. The Profusion, of course, yet again, $9.99. Very comparable. I would say pretty comparable. I mean, you've got more shades, of course, in the Morphe palette. And you've got a couple of really unique, really bright, bold shades in that Morphe palette, but yet and still comparable. I feel like you could get some similar looks. I feel like you could get some very similar looks with the yellows, the oranges, the burgundy. Definitely something worth taking a look at. Yeah. So 24 compared to 10, still both great, you know, gift options under 25 bucks, but I think in the end, even though I love this Morphe 3502, I still got to give it to the Profusion $9.99. I mean, you can't beat that with a stick. That is a fantastic deal. They did such a great job on these palettes. I'm definitely going to check out some more. I just wanted to pop this video up for you guys because I know these are limited edition. They're on an end cap at Target. So hop in your local Targets and see if you can find them. Put in the comments down below if you guys have found them, if you love them, or which ones are your favorites. Maybe give me some recommendations on what to pick up next. And that's about it for this video. Thank you guys so much for joining me and watching. It's really good to be back, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care.